But in doing that, it throws off the metagame even more, in my opinion, because now you've got Drizzle Swift banned, but you don't have Drought and Chlorophyll banned. I mean, I can almost see why it's not really necessary to ban Drought and Chlorophyll because there aren't really any great enough Pokemon that are huge enough threats to really validate banning that combination. I kind of understand that. Dream World Venusaur is a beast. There's no question about it. He's amazing. But other than that, I mean, what are you gonna run? Jumpluff or Executor? I mean, maybe Leafeon, but again, still nothing significant enough that doesn't already have a fairly good counter. And the kicker is, though, is running into Sandstream plus Excadrill. Now, I know that Excadrill has plenty of things going against him. You know, Conkeldurr takes just a massive dump all over Excadrill. And if Tyranitar was the Sandstorm inducer, then takes a crap on him as well. But if you don't have a priority like choice ban, I don't know, maybe choice ban Aqua Jet from, I don't know, an Empoleon or a Floatzel or Azumarill, which is probably the most, I don't know, probably the best user of that. But even then, Excadrill just can do so much damage and just tear up an entire team just because of that ability, that Sand Rush ability. And it pisses me off because most Pokemon that get a speed doubling ability according to a specific weather, they have relatively shit speed to begin with. So it goes from shit speed to good speed. I mean, Kingdra gets great speed when when it's doubled in rain, and Venusaur, he can get good speed as well. It bumps him up above 400, but Excadrill, seriously, he's already so fast for a Pokemon with that type of a ability. I mean, you cannot outrun him. Plain and simple, you can't do it. You cannot outrun him in sand. Unless, of course, he doesn't have Sand Rush, which at this point in the metagame, there's no point to have any ability on Excadrill besides Sand Rush. And now, the problem I have is that he's already so good. So, by making it more difficult to take him out, it really buffs up Sandstorm. Like, people say, oh my gosh, Drizzle is so OP now. Or Drought can be so OP, which it's not. A lot of the Pokemon that are, the staple threats in Drought teams get completely raped by Stealth Rock. They really do. Volcarona, I love him, but if you don't have a Rapid Spitter on your team, then he's going to be losing half his health some point during the match because almost everybody has a Ferrothorn or something that's going to be putting SR up. But yeah, I mean, Excadrill with Sand Rush being completely legal in Sand, along with Sandstream, it just, I don't know, it just defeats the purpose. If they're going to ban an auto weather combo like Drizzle Swift, they honestly should be banning the combo of Sandstream and Sand Rush as well. I just think it's more fair. I really do. And I just think it would balance the metagame a lot better. Next on the list is the topic of Blaziken. Now, when everybody saw that Blaziken would be getting Speed Boost as his Dream World ability, almost everyone was like, oh my gosh, what the F? He should be Uber. And, well, now he is Uber. He was tested, and it was determined that Speed Boost Blaziken was too powerful. It was OP. Now, I honestly have never been worked by a Speed Boost Blaziken because he's still Blaziken. So he's still not fantastic. There's still plenty of ways to set up on him and stop him from doing what he needs to do in order to pull off a successful sweep. One example is Whimsicott. Cute as hell. I love it. It's so damn cute. And it's a pain in the ass as well. And you just bring in a Whimsicott, because you know he's going to be using Sword Dance, and you encore him. And he's got two options. He can switch out and lose his speed boost, or he can stay in and waste 3 turns of just using Sword Dance over and over. Granted, he will have max attack by the time that is done, but by that time, should already have something set up with at least 1 or 2 boosts, which is more than sufficient to KO Blaziken. I've run into a couple of Blaziken variants. I've run into Life Orb, Focus Sash, so people make sure he gets a speed boost in. And I just think he's not extremely bulky, but he's not Ninjask. He doesn't need a Focus Sash. You're wasting an item on him. There really are better things to put on him. I've seen a Air Balloon variant of that, which was interesting to say the least, and I can kind of understand why they would do that as well. I can see the utility of that in a Sun team, because that automatically, makes water virtually neutral to him because it lowers the power of all water moves. And leaving him really with his only weakness being ground. At least it's a substantial one. I mean, you still have Psychic or Flying, but you don't see those moves thrown around as often. And so Air Balloon, negating at least one hit from a ground attack, that can do a lot for you. You can switch that in, and you can get a free speed boost right off the bat. And if that person switches out, because if it's maybe a Scarf Garchomp, they're locked into that. They got to switch out because they're not going to be doing anything to you. You can get a free Sword Dance as well. And by the time they get something in that can kill you or do anything against you, you have +2 speed, so you're going to outspeed them, and you have +2 attack. And it's a great strategy. I'm not fully convinced that he should be Uber, but I'm not really going to argue it because I don't mind. I'm kind of indifferent on it. I really don't care. But the kicker is Blaziken as a whole is banned entirely. And I'll touch on this again at a later point, but honestly, I don't see why they would do that, because Blaziken was just barely viable in 4th gen, and now in 5th gen, the only way he's truly viable is with speed boost, and so banning him altogether doesn't really make sense. He could still work fine in UU, or maybe even BL, whenever they get the tiers all settled up and whatnot, and make up their minds on that. But I don't know. I can't really condone banning Blaziken entirely. I mean, Blaziken, just with his normal, neutral ability. That's not really a threat. No, it is not. And so, I mean, once we're able to breed Dreamworld Blaziken, I can see how that could easily be Uber. He'd be much more effective, I think, at baton passing, Swords Dance, and speed boosts to Pokemon than Ninjask was. The only really big difference being that Ninjask has a higher speed to start out with, but it doesn't change the fact that they can both learn Protect, they can both get a free speed boost. I think Blaziken actually just has more options available to him, and so I can see how he could be considered uber, quote unquote. And I say quote unquote because I said that when back in 4th gen, Smoggin decided to ban Garchomp, and then Latias, and then Salamence. I didn't so much care about the first two because I didn't really use Garchomp anyway. And whenever I saw Garchomp, I was like, hey, thanks for the free one-hit KO. Because I always have something that counters dragons, especially dragons that are 4 times weak to ice. And I just never had a problem with them. But when they banned Salamence, I was sad. I really was. I didn't contemplate giving up Pokemon or anything. I was just sad. I was downtrodden. I was sullen. Anyway, so yeah, Blaziken. Weird, huh? I think that's weird. Give me some of your thoughts on that. Comment, send me a message, whatever. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Next topic is Dream World as a whole. And I want to start this off with a question: good or bad? Should they have just left out Dream World entirely, or is it something that shakes up the metagame to make it new and fresh? I'm inclined to be kind of in the center of that right now, but I'm leaning more towards I'm glad it exists, but my problem is that it's going to take forever before all of the Dream World abilities are released